Welcome back. It is Fashion Friday here at France 24. As always, our fashion critic, Jessica Michaud, is here to tell us all about the latest news in the world of fashion and luxury. Good morning, Jessica.
Morning.
This morning we're having a look at the biggest trends for men for next summer. What have you spotted?
Well, before I get into what I spotted here in Paris, we have to go back and talk about what I saw in Milan last week, because we're seeing a lot of the same trends popping up here in Paris that we saw in Milan. First and foremost, we have to talk about the abundance of high-octane colors on the menswear catwalk. Usually bright colors are reserved for women, but this season designers really wanted to make bold sartorial statements. The perfect example of how widespread and rampant this trend is, you only have to look at these images of the Ferragamo show, menswear show. It's not interesting not only because you can really see how much color is going to be king next season, but you have to maybe more importantly understand that Ferragamo is more a traditional, classically beautiful, usually sartorially safe collection. So the fact that this brand is actually showing so much color really shows how incredibly powerful this collection was. Now, going hand in hand with these bright and colorful numbers, images, there's also been a real trend towards metallic shades, and we saw it on a number of key collections, including one of Burberry, which is a big menswear designer. But I wanted to show you some footage from Versace, because not only do we see the metallic trend in full effect, this show was also the talk of the town in Milan. Some people really loved how Versace went back to its roots and was able to poke a little fun of it at its own expense, and others thought the show was really a marketing ploy, helped promote the relaunch of the brand's swimwear and underwear line. I can tell you that those people who were able to get past the fact that there was underwear with see-through backs and were able to look at the menswear and the beautiful tailoring really got the message that Versace was really trying to convey with that collection.
Now, before we move on to Paris, Jessica, give us an idea of what your favorite was back in Milan.
Well, I don't know if I would call it my favorite show, but I will give it the award for the best overall presentation and concept, and that goes to Dolce & Gabbana, which actually used street casting for their show. The two designers handpicked a cast of Sicilian men and boys to walk the runway. Now, the collection even had a live Sicilian band performing at the show. The theme is a Sicilian theme that the designers have used for inspiration in the past, but this show is very authentic, and those pleat-fronted pants are proving to be right on trend, as they're showing up on pretty much every catwalk in both Milan and Paris, which in my opinion is unfortunate because the pleat-fronted pant looks pretty much bad on just about everybody. But it worked at the Dolce & Gabbana show because it was really in keeping with the authentic style of the Sicilian man.
Now we're going to move on to Paris, and I understand that we are talking the longest fashion show ever that is underway.
Yeah, there's a fashion show going on right now here in Paris by the American brand Band of Outsiders, and it's the longest fashion show on record. It started on Wednesday, and it's going 60 hours nonstop. There's a young model living 24/7 in an art gallery in the 3rd arrondissement, and about every 90 minutes he changes his outfit for all the world to see. He's basically living, eating, sleeping in this gallery, and if you want to follow his every move, you can do it on the live streaming feed, which has been set up on the fashion website called nowfashion.com. What's interesting too is this is the first time that Band of Outsiders has shown its collection in Paris, and this is an interesting way of them introducing their brand to France and to Paris. It's kind of the outside of the box thinking, and it really in keeping with the ethos of the brand. We actually talked to the founder of the brand, Scott Steinberg, about this concept. Let's take a listen.
It seemed like a funny idea and a good idea to sort of dissect the process of putting a show together and a collection together. And to reflect the spirit of the collection this season, which was somewhat inspired by protest, late 60s counterculture, the Occupy movement now, not in a earnest way or too much of a somber way, but just sort of looking at what's going on in the world and trying to spit it back out a little bit in fashion. I think the mic fell, but it might be okay. Open up, dude.
Seems like an amazing concept, definitely worth a look online, I expect, Jessica. We've talked a little bit about the most popular shows in Milan. What about here in Paris? What's the hot ticket?
Well, the hot ticket has already happened. That was the Raf Simons show. Now, Raf Simons is always one of the top menswear designers, always a highly anticipated show. But since he was named the new fashion director for the Christian Dior brand after a year-long search since the disgrace of the past designer John Galliano, the importance of this show kind of really stepped it up a notch and was quite powerful. Many were looking for clues as to what the designer's first ever haute couture show will be for Dior later this week. And I think there were a few hints. It was a decidedly definitely feminine show, mixing of men's fabrics and women's fabrics, girly pop, bubblegum pink colors, tunics in girly prints. And even the designer shorts in the collection came with a slit in the front, kind of reminiscent of a slit that you would see on a pencil skirt. So a lot of female touches there. So we'll see what that holds for haute couture.
Now, the Paris shows have only been going for 48 hours, Jessica, but have you been able to spot any trends so far?
Well, there is, of course, the metallic, the shiny materials that we're seeing, as well as the hot colors, but I have to say that there's a theme that's kind of bubbling up, and that is of the aquatic world of the ocean. The point in case would be Louis Vuitton. The show's designer, Kim Jones, sent out a nautical-inspired show, which featured everything from deck shoes printed with the iconic Epi Louis Vuitton pattern to luxe leather life preservers, and what looked like scuba gear but was actually made out of cashmere. So very luxe take on a very sporty sea sports trend. Over at the Terre Mugler, or the Mugler show, the creative director Nicola Formicetti and the designer Roman Kramer also looked to the ocean, but this time they went under the ocean into the deep blue sea. The collection had a very minimal and futuristic style with lots of slits on the clothing to slice back and expose skin, kind of like gills on a fish, if you were. Lots of iridescent fabrics, lots of bright colors again, kind of like what the well-dressed Atlantis man would be wearing for next summer.
Which must be the question on everyone's mind.
Exactly.
Jessica Michaud, thank you very much indeed. That's all we have time for. But of course, until next time, you can catch up with Jessica's fashion reviews on nowfashion.com and follow her on her blog at jessicamichaud.com. That's it for now. In just a few minutes, my colleague Louise Hanna will be back with a look at all the very latest international headlines. But for me, for this morning, it's goodbye. Thank you.
You'll see our global effort is making strides. And with third quarter projections, we'll
Blah, blah, blah. I just want to check into my hotel.
On page 104,
I hope I get a king-size bed.
I hope I can get a drink.
Get a massage.
Watch a funny movie.
Or go for a swim.
Snacks.
Scented candles.
Zombie movie.
Minibar.
Don't just hope. Know what you're really booking when you book. AccorHotels.com.